private concert live broadcast with Tori Amos. Your happy host is John Grappone.
Thank you, Bill Evans, and good afternoon, Fogheads in the Bay Area and Fogheads here in the Fantasy Studios. The old saying, better late than never. She literally just got off an airplane. She came in specially for this show, so we got to let her know we really appreciate her. And then she's off to Boise, Idaho. Her new record is called To Venus and Back. Would you please welcome to Fantasy Studios, Tori Amos.
Hi. How's it going?
Hi, Tori.
Hey, how are you, John?
Good. You a little jet-lagged, or?
No, it's just Seattle. We did a show last night in Seattle and came down this morning, and then we do a show in Boise.
Boise, Idaho.
Yeah. Whew. Last time it was very tricky because mothers were dragging their daughters out of the audience.
Ah.
And it was very scary. Passing my merchandise, you're going, I had no idea. Anyway.
We're not buying that T-shirt.
Yeah. So we'll start out with a little song. Yeah, you guys, can you hear it in the studio?
I think we're all plugged in.
You're all happening. Okay, this is a little song from the new album.
Tripping at your door. Is that you? Alpha in the blood. And when the woman lies, you don't believe her. Rolling and unrolling, crying, emerging, running free, running through the underworld into your room. Is he real or a ghost lie? And she feels she isn't tied on the veil of tears and rages till her voice is all remembered and the secrets can be told. Crystalling from the vine, you know you'll drink her. Rolling and unrolling and crying, emerging, running free, running through the afterworld into your room. Say she prays for a prankster and lost in the marriage bed, and he waits till she can get, and he waits and he waits. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Tori Amos live on KFOG. We are at Fantasy Studios in Berkeley. Again, her new record on Atlantic is called To Venus and Back. She did come here from Seattle, so we won't even ask her about Venus, but maybe a little bit later. Tori, we've got some questions from our audience, which are known as fogheads, if you'd like to refer to them as that.
Good.
And we assume you'll have an answer. Is that okay? All right.
Let's go.
We're going to try. This first one is from Elizabeth Randall of Oakland, California. What were your inspirations for the beautiful and new song called Lust?
Well, I think I had no idea. Okay, let's put it this way. When I was aware that I was getting married, and it dawned on me that, you know, those sitcoms that freak you out when you see these people married and you're going, oh my God, is that my life with those ridiculous fuzzy slippers on? I mean, that's really not this like cliche kind of life that got so screwed up with bad television. And I think I started to write Lust once I'd been married for a while, and I realized that I had no idea what I was getting into. Does that make any sense?
Does your husband know all the words? I'm just curious.
He doesn't need to know the words.
Okay. All right. We'll come back for another question, but that's a pretty big piano, Tori, so if you can play us another song, we'd appreciate that on KFOG.
It's 9 feet. That's how I like them. Okay, this is, actually it ended up on the live disc of the Venus album, and the thing is, we did it at soundcheck. It didn't make Choir Girl, but it ended up being one of our favorites, and the band loved it too. So we were just fooling around.
Well, how do you do when they surround you? A little mental yoga, will they disappear? It's grim but never dubious as motives go. One thing she always promised says she thunder wishes it could be the snow, wishes it could be as loved as she can be. These gifts I heave for high, for you, for me. Watch me be this other thing, and I never know if I'm marooned or where the purple people go. Then lily white mattress from our vicious words. It doesn't leave a scratch, so therefore no. Thunder wishes it could away the world. So how do you do judo in your binary? An angel's face is tricky to wear constantly. Thunder wishes it could be the snow. Wishes it could be as love does. She can be. These gifts are here for her, for you, for me.
Tori Amos live from Fantasy Studios. It's a private concert live broadcast, and we'd like to welcome you, the listening audience, and also everyone here in the Fantasy Studios. This is John Guarpone, and one of the things that has intrigued me, Tori, over the years, besides your music, obviously, is the covers, the artwork, the story that you kind of put out with your covers. I just look at them while I'm listening to the records and try and figure out sometimes what you're trying to convey. And with that in mind, here's another question from Derek Wunderlich of San Jose. Is there a story behind the song Siren? If so, tell us, please.
Well,
And I don't think any of these are trick questions, by the way, right? We hope not.
the whole thing about Siren was I was asked to do this music to this film called Great Expectations. And when I saw the rough cut of the movie, it was a bit of a different thing than what it ended up to be. But point is, the scene that they asked me to do, when I first saw it, I was on the water. And my concept of his character, who was Ethan Hawke playing the part of, they call it Finn in the movie. But it's Pip, right? That's the correct Great Expectation person. Anyway, I felt like these guys were on a boat fishing. And they had this grunge music there being a manly kind of thing. And I'm like, screw that, that's ridiculous. If you're going to do a manly thing on the water, go Polynesian 800 years ago, going to the sirens, and do it correctly. I mean, the Miller time and all the baited worms and all the stuff from the Great Tackle Shop, blow that. Go and find the sirens, make your sacrifice, cut off a toe, do what you're supposed to. Be good guys. So I decided that it would make his character a bit more enriching if there was this mythological element of the sea creatures.
How's that, Derek, for an answer? Where is Derek? All right. He's going home a happy young man. One more question and then a song, because I have to get an answer to this one. This is from Ann in San Francisco. Ann does not want to give her last name. Says, how do you feel? That's all right, Ann, don't worry. How do you feel about people calling you a freak? Well, first of all, who has called you a freak? Anybody I know?
They don't do it to my face. I don't really engage in any of that. What are you going to do? I mean, I don't know.
Those who can't do review, I think, is what the old saying is, something like that.
Well, with the journos, sometimes I try and be kind to them, but it's like, obviously, you didn't get your book deal this week.
Okay, freak. I mean, Tori, how about another song on KFOG?
Another song. Okay, this is off the new album. This is called Concertina.
squeeze bags on your knee. I know the truth is in between the first and the 40th drag. Concertina, Concertina, chill the bands. This I swear, you're the fiercest. Call my Benny. Concertina, Concertina, try infrared. This I swear, you're the fiercest. Come, I bow. So quick you've been tearing the glass world days. Particle by particle she slowly changes. She likes hanging Chinese paper cuts. Just another fix. Can I weather these? I got my fuzz all tipped to play. I got a dub on your landscape. Then there's your policy of trancing the sauce without the blame. Concertina, Concertina, chill the bands. This I swear, you're the fiercest. Call my Benny. Concertina, Concertina, try infrared. This I swear, you're the fiercest. Come, I bow. Too far, I said, too far, too far. It couldn't get away, too cheap for me. I got a fever by my waist. You got a squeeze back on your knee. I know the truth lies in between the first and the 40th drag. Concertina, Concertina, chill the bands. This I swear, you're the fiercest. Call my Benny. Concertina, Concertina, try infrared. This I swear, you're the fiercest. Come, I bow. Cloudy Sunday.
Tori Amos. Once again, her new one is on Atlantic Records. It's called To Venus and Back. It gives us the best of both worlds, live recordings and studio recordings. And truly appreciate you stopping by, Tori. We know you're off to Boise, Idaho. Just to update
Hooray.
us. Boise! Boise! Boise!
They
Boise.
have a fantastic fondue place, just for those who are interested.
Are you... Is this still with Alanis Morissette, if you can update us, or has that ended?
Alanis and I, we sort of split company about, 2 weeks ago. We've been doing the Southwest, we did Texas, and on our own. So she's gone to New Zealand, and we've been doing some
You've come to Berkeley,
booty
and we
shaking,
appreciate
baby.
that.
Yeah.
A couple of questions here. We know you got to run. Where do you look for your inspiration? That one comes from Jennifer Axon of San Francisco.
Well, I think a strange thing is not my SAT scores. My God, I saw that program. Did you all see that program the other night? Oh my God, it freaked me out. It had Berkeley. It was all about Berkeley and who was going to Berkeley. I'd never bloody get into Berkeley. I have the worst SAT scores in Maryland, I think. Because I'm reading the page, and it's the most, I've never been so, my eyes started getting cross-eyed. And the way that they're asking me this question, I've had like more literacy from drunks hanging out at my piano, spilling beer all over it, saying, "Baby, will you sing me After the Lovin' one more time?" And so I just decided to make like a picture. And so I just started checking boxes that I thought were cute. But my point being is,
yes,
in those tests, I don't think they ever ask you if you really, the artists that I respect and get on with, never think you're creating by yourself. You have to be a container, and you have to really know that there is a muse out there, and it can look however you want it to look. It's not necessarily tangible, but there is a thing to, when writers get freaked out that they're not going to write again. I never get that freaked out because I think if you leave good wine, little good silver oak, for her in the corner, she's always going to come. There's a strange respect that you have to have for the muse. So that's one. And if you think it's all about you, then your ego gets a really shocking thing when she decides not to come again and you can't write anymore. The other thing is, since you know you're a translator, because that's really what artists are, and you're kind of co-creating, but really you're translating. And you have to know that once it comes, then you've got to start sculpting, because she's a bit cheeky. You have to learn how to be a hunter for frequency. That's how you write songs. Sometimes all you get sometimes is, that's it. And you know, though, you have a seed. It's the beginning, like a little tiny creature, like a little fetus. And you have to begin trying to stalk it, find its frequency. It's true. Like those trackers in Africa. It's the same thing, but it's sonic geometry.
Tori Amos on KFOG. Now, I'm just curious. For the final song, are you going to do After the Loving? I don't know. Is that the one we're waiting for?
Well, I do.
Let's do a little version of After the Loving.
Captain Bob used to sing this for me every night. Well, I'll sing you to sleep after the loving. And he waited every night to do this bit. I brush back the hair from your thighs. Horrible moment of my life.
Just fill up that tip jar. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
These tears I'm crying, I'm crying 1,000 oceans. people just fade away. Oversee you burial through the solar field. You know that I will follow you. I'm aware where the rules are, but you know that I will run. You know that I will follow you. These tears I cried, I cried 1,000 oceans, and it seems I'm floating down as well. I can't believe that I will keep you from flying. So I will cry 1,000 more if that's what it takes to sail you home, sail you home, sail you home, sail you home.
Tori Amos, live from Fantasy Studios, another private concert, live broadcast. Thank you very much, Tori. Have a safe trip to Boise. A bunch of thank yous going out. Today's mix by Ben Conrad, assisted by Guy Lento and Steve Vaier. Thanks to Nina Bombardier of Fantasy Studios. Thanks also to John Witherspoon of Spivak Entertainment. Thanks to Atlantic Records, especially Bonnie Slipkin and Amy Birch. Mr. Jerry Pasidi from KFOG Engineering. Thank you, Jerry. And today's show produced by Eileen Rivera of KFOG. I'm John Guarpone. I'll see you in about 55 minutes. Bill Evans, we're back to you in the KFOG studio. And thank you here in the Fantasy Studio audience, Fogheads. And we'll see you next time.